Good morning, it's National Rick Stein Day. That's right, we're celebrating one of the most iconic TV chefs of all time with a whole host of heartwarming food, fun and plenty of surprises. This is Saturday Kitchen Live. And welcome to our special show to celebrate the inaugural National Rick Stein Day. So to start things off, let's all say... Happy Rick Stein Day! Oh yeah, fantastic food is the centre of any celebration, so we've got two of Rick's favourite chefs to cater for our biggest event of the year so far, given that it's March. Jack Stein, yes, relation, and Angela Hartnett, and the wonderful Helen McGinn is delivering winning wines. Now, Rick has many famous fans, as you'll see throughout the show, but we've invited musician Loyal Kana here because he's told us on previous occasions that he's a bit of a super fan. More of that a little bit later on. Now, let's properly introduce the man himself. He first burst onto our screens nearly 40 years ago. He's never been off them. He's made countless TV series. He's travelled across the world, showcasing the wealth of food on offer in almost every corner of the globe. And if that wasn't enough, he's celebrated his beloved Cornwall and built a massive food empire in the nicknamed town of Padstein. There's more. He's inspired millions of us to cook with his array of cookbooks. We love him so much. It's no wonder he's the only chef to have appeared on every single episode of this show, and that's why, henceforth, the 2nd of March will always be known as National Rick Stein Day. Yes, indeed. Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you here. Now, Rick, there's kind of a day for everything. Don't get ahead of yourself. There's a day for margaritas. There's a day for hating coriander. Right. There's even a National Chocolate-Covered Nuts Day.
Great.
Nonsense, that is.
Great company.
We think you're more deserving than chocolate nuts. Yes.
Beautiful outfit. Same again. Nice. How many of those blue shirts do you have?
I have a whole array, thank you very much. This is a new one I brought this week.
It's new, isn't it? Did you look at it and go, oh, I haven't got anything like that in my wardrobe? I know that.
Yeah, I did, actually. I thought I need another one, but hey, do you like it? Fits
very
all right,
much
doesn't it?
so. Looks very, very dapper.
Thank you. Now, you know there's a day for everything these days, so breaking news, we're making our own. On the 2nd of March, it's now officially Rick Stein Day. Yes, we've got flags and everything. It's National Rick Stein Day, so obviously our guest of honour today is the culinary icon Rick Stein. Rick Stein, good to have you here, Rick Stein.
Well, thank you very much, Matt Tennant. I'm feeling a little bit overawed, but there we go.
Oh, you wait till we start, mate. You haven't seen the half of it. How are you? How's life?
Yeah, very, very well, I must say. Yeah.
Good.
Sad about Dave Myers, but...
Very sad.
There we go.
Very sad, yes. We'll be referencing that a bit later on. Before we do, let's talk about your food heaven and food hell.
What are we starting with?
What about hell?
Well, Rocky Road. I know it seems odd, but I just hate chocolate and marshmallow. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
And especially if you throw in any tart fruit like raspberries, strawberries, I just can't stand it.
Okay. Good to know. Right, let's see what else is on the menu. Jack Stein, son of... How are you, Jack?
Yeah, good. Hi, Dad.
I'm just the only place you can catch up these days.
I'm doing one of our classic dishes, family dishes, poached salmon with mayonnaise, new potatoes and cucumber.
Yeah, well, you've got Rick's favourite chefs on. You're one of them. That's lucky, isn't it?
Has to be.
Yeah. What about you, Ange? What you got?
I'm going to do a lovely pasta dish with braised rabbit, using all the vegetables, finished with some lovely parsley and parmesan.
Very nice. Hels?
Yes.
Fair to say, Rick likes to drink.
I know, and I feel I'm in... Yes,
I don't think that's a secret, by the way.
No, exactly. I'm with my people. So I have actually, on good authority, I know what some of your favourite wines are.
Oh.
And as it happens, they've played ball beautifully. Yeah, quite high. I've gone a bit cheaper.
Right, okay.
But they play beautifully with the dishes that we've got, so you're in for a real treat.
Nice. You've also might have noticed sitting around our table is the musician and Rick Stein superfan, Loyal Khan.
Hey!
Loyal,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm having a great...
Having a little moment.
I'm just having a good time.
You're doing a grin on your face.
I'm happy to be here.
Don't look him in the eye. Don't do it.
Nice to see you.
I'm just happy to be here.
Good. Nice to have you here. There you go. Join us at 10.
Oh, it looks like a fun show ahead. Thanks, Matt. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Let's get the sport now with Mike. And there's a picture to tell the stories. And
People who would also agree, take a look at this.
Happy Rick Stein Day.
Dear Rick, happy Rick Stein Day.
Happy Rick Stein Day.
A very happy Rick Stein Day.
Happy Rick Stein Day.
Happy Rick Stein Day. Happy Rick Stein Day.
Happy Rick Stein Day?
Yes, Dawn, French, really. Happy Rick Stein Day.
Yes,
Rick knows his wine.
he does.
What have you got for
Yes. So I have it on good authority that I have actually got 2 of your favourite styles of wine that just went really well with the dishes. So I'm very excited about sharing those 2.
Good.
And then whichever way it goes, I think I know which way it's going to go. Then
you never know.
You never. Well, yeah, you never
Might
know.
be a curveball.
But yeah, you're going to be happy with the wines.
Right.
Good. And you could just sit back and relax.
Well, I mean,
You've got no cooking to do anything.
honestly, I mean,
just got here for the chat.
Compared with the early days of the omelette challenge, always got it wrong.
Sit back.
This is great.
And Loyal, you're here because you're a massive Rick fan, as we mentioned, Rob.
Yes.
You're a fan of a lot of chefs. And you've actually written some songs about them.
Yeah.
Written one about Rick?
Yeah, I was saying it's just a love I can't put into words.
Is that right? That's really
So
sweet.
fast, maybe soon, maybe soon.
I mean, I think Hallmark might disagree. They made a career out of it. But hey, maybe work on that one by the end of the show. Now, Rick, sticking to our format, because we know we are with that. At the end of the show, food heaven, food hell. Tell us about your food heaven.
Well, food heaven is, I just love the Chinese way with cooking seafood, particularly things like scallops, clams, mussels, a bit of garlic, maybe some coriander, soy sauce, fresh flavours. They're just really good.
Okay.
And some chopped spring onions.
Nice. And what about hell?
Well, actually, I don't like Rocky Road. I can't stand chocolate.
All the things you've eaten in the world.
Yeah, I know.
Rocky Road.
You know we sell that in the shop, don't you? It's got your name on there.
You were.
Well,
You used to. Take that off the shelves now.
Well, I was thinking, I don't really like stinky skate, which was from Iceland.
Okay.
But you're not going to cook stinky skate.
No.
But I particularly don't like Rocky Road. no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, today is all about Rick, obviously, but the one thing he can't control is what he gets to eat at the end of the show, because that's down to you guys at home. But will you... So let's carry Dave in our hearts and get on with today's show. And on that note, Jack, you've got some very funny stories about your dad. And you're cooking one of his favourite dishes. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah, no, we had some great ones. What have you got for us, Jack?
So I'm doing a family favourite. So it's poached salmon in court bouillon with mayonnaise, pickled cucumber and a little green salad.
Very nice. Nice classic dish.
Yeah.
A little bit of miso squeezed in there as well. Log on to the website now and have your say. Right. As we said, Rick's been a constant on our screen since 1985. So it was kind of hard to choose what to show.
Oh, my gosh.
But you might remember, to celebrate the BBC's 100th birthday back in 2022, we created a film to showcase his impact on food TV. So it seems the perfect time to take another look. Rick Stein is one of the BBC's longest-serving TV chefs, with an on-screen career that began nearly 40 years ago.
I just really like the look of a fresh fish come into the restaurant. It just really excites me.
He's the BBC's most prolific chef, starring in thousands of hours of programming.
The way I cook, which is a little bit disorganised, but it's a bit like people cook at home.
A long-standing champion of fresh ingredients, local producers, and above all else, mouth-watering seafood.
I love sea fish. I love the taste of saltwater fish.
Rick's food journey has seen him travel the world. But it all started in Cornwall. Rick's TV break came in 1985 when Keith Floyd came to visit his Padstein restaurant in Floyd on Fish.
This is Nick's own very special recipe.
Rick, dear boy, Rick.
Rick! Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Well, once you've seen one cook, you've seen them all, haven't you?
But that obviously wasn't true, because Rick, had made a big impression. And in 1995, he was given his own series, Taste of the Sea.
Let me tell you what being truly seasick is like. It's like being as close to death as anybody would want to be. But it's all worth it when you see this fish that's just come out of the cod end.
Following his life in Padstow, the programme showed Rick in his restaurant kitchen.
We're not bothering with too much measurement. You can see what we're talking about, just lots of vegetables here.
Its relaxed documentary style allowed for some classic Rick ruminations.
There was a feeling of sort of eternity. Oh my God, now I'm going over the top again. And everything that comes out of the sea has the same sort of aura about it as that sort of longing. I'm getting a bit sort of, philosophical here and getting out of me depth.
Oh, God, Paul, I know. OK, let's get on with this one.
He introduced the nation to his local Cornish characters.
If there's a lot more ravel, then the Basques like to skip in the waves. Ravel.
Oh, yeah.
Bit more sea.
Ravel.
Ravel. Ravel. That's what we call it, anyway.
And made a star of Chalky, the family Jack Russell.
Well, I mean, how can I carry on with it?
Rick's 1997 series, Fruits of the Sea, once again showcased the beauty of Cornwall, as well as his gung-ho approach to cooking.
If you put this one on the telly, I'm going to have your guts for garters.
He continued his mission to champion brilliant British food producers in his now classic series, Food Heroes.
Unfortunately, I've smashed it.
Well, you have to go and cook
They'll have to
them
be
up,
cooked
Paul.
up quick, yeah.
Whatever the weather.
I've just seen these two women watching me doing this. They must think I'm totally bonkers, because it's just a terrible gale. And it's so cold. And they must think, what on earth is he doing cooking out here? But, well, actually, it's quite a nice dish.
But Rick was also casting his net further afield, taking viewers on adventures all around the world.
This sort of reminds me a bit of a vehicle that a retired librarian and his missus might take touring Europe. No offence to librarians, you understand.
Some recipes look more appetising than others.
I'm fascinated. I'm writing the recipe possibly only for my own benefit, because I can't believe you could buy bottles of blood from your local supermarket. But you never know. If they see this, they may be encouraged to start stocking it. You can just see it on the shelves. Fresh blood, pigs.
Rick's series has taken us across America.
So, what does barbecue mean to you then, Harlan? You must...
Well, it just means who's got the best butt.
And do you think yours is the best then?
I think it is.
Why?
Because it's tender as my heart,
India.
This is seriously what filming is all about for me.
Mexico. Europe.
Oh, is there anything more delightful than a French boulangerie and patisserie?
Giving us his own inimitable insight into cuisines across the globe and encouraging us all to be more adventurous.
A lot of people don't like Andriette because they smell too much of the insides of pigs, but this one, it is very subtle.
But in his most recent series, Rick went back home, once again shining a light on his beloved Cornwall.
We're two old men doing rummaging around down here. We're like school kids, aren't us?
Well, as school kids, it's nothing like scrumping for apples, is
No.
it?
Rick's one of the longest-standing, most popular chefs TV has ever produced. His passion for food has never waned.
Hey, that's just the greatest thing I've ever tasted. I've got the snout, I've got the choritas, I've got everything but the squeal. I just find it so appetising, Much as I like the odd hot dog, this is much more attractive to me.
Rick's enthusiastic approach keeps viewers coming back for more, decade after decade.
It's heavenly. It's really, really lovely. It is just total luxury. That is unbelievable. Yum-oh.
Making him the most enduring chef on the BBC, and possibly the world's ultimate TV chef.
Other people feel the same about these TV cooks. Everything's wonderful, everything in the garden is green, the green fish curry is green and wonderful. So I'm just going to say, yeah, it's not bad. So I'm just going to say, yeah, it's not bad.
Great little trip down memory lane there. Now, this next dish is kind of inspired by one of Rick's and my favourite restaurants. Don't really want to tell you where it is, otherwise the prices will go up and then we won't get a table. It's actually the Colombe. Dead simple. The food is simple. It's probably not the best food you travel for.
Well, you shouldn't say that, Matt.
But it's...
but maybe you're
not going back anywhere.
They won't be watching this.
But I love the fact the menus are the same.
Exactly the same.
Because it's hand painted.
I was looking at it the other day. You can buy a tablecloth with that menu on.
Really?
Yeah, 500 quid. I didn't.
That's about the price of a Dover sole in there, isn't it?
I suppose it's nostalgia as well, though, because those are the dishes we all cooked. I cooked when I was, starting out, like this.
Exactly,
one.
a classic
rack of
kind of
lamb,
dishes.
Okay, so
what we're having?
We're not having dough from ours. We're having lamb with a herb crust, some veg, because you were saying properly cooked.
Yep,
about
properly
4 or
cooked.
5 minutes.
Well, I mean, don't you agree with that? There's
Absolutely.
So many chefs cook beans so they're so crunchy, they're almost raw.
Well, I don't know if it's true. I remember Alistair Little years ago, who I used to work for, a friend of yours,
Lamented
telling
Alistair
me that
Little.
that all came around, all the undercooked thing,
Yeah.
food photography.
Yeah.
To keep the colour, chefs would then try and replicate that, and then they would undercook everything.
And now it's what everybody does.
Squeeze green beans. Awful.
And the Bangladeshis started restaurants for just the local group of people there. Gradually it grew, and same with Italians in Glasgow. Funnily enough, they arrived in Glasgow because they were fleeing poverty-stricken parts of Italy.
Well, they went to London, Glasgow, and Wales. Just saying
Yeah,
down the road,
and Bedford for the
bricks.
Yes,
bricks. Yeah, that's right.
But I was terrible doing my early. I did a test, a screen
Seen
test.
it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I was,
But then you did the one down by the Barbican, which was the first one was like a down the lens chop and chat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was really awkward.
Well, I mean, the
You may as well
reality
call
was
yourself
I'd been
Nick.
out with David the night before, actually in Padstein at the seafood. We had a lot of red wine.
Yeah.
And I suppose I might have had a bit of a hangover the next morning. I don't know if you...
So you're a bit more like, yeah.
Exactly. That's
Relaxed about
relaxed. And I just thought, oh, well,
Yeah.
And David kept saying to me, just try and be like you were last night, So,
At the table after a few drinks, hanging your hands.
and I sort of thought, oh, what the hell? And that, of course, what you need to be is relaxed.
Well, look, there's your style has inspired many hosts over the years, including this young up-and-coming fella. Have a look at this.
Memories of Rick Stein, oh my lord. Look, one of my regrets is I've never had enough time with him to get down the pub and put the worlds to rights. For me as a young chef, 30 years ago, I went to his restaurant in Cornwall, saw him, met him, ate his incredible food. What a legend. His books, his restaurants, his beer, his cookery school, everything was just beautiful. He's got such a calming, gentle, thoughtful view of cooking. So important for our industry. And for me personally, he's been very inspiring and I love what he does. So let's celebrate all things Rick.
Oh, that's fab.
Wouldn't it be nice to
he's
go
such
through
a
life
nice
as
guy,
well
isn't
lit
he?
as Jamie, though? You look great, didn't he?
But I mean, he used to come to the restaurant with his mum and dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we go back a long way, really.
Yeah.
But that's the best part, isn't it? Because it's like when you go to certain communities and and you think, where are all the locals? And it's that, they're cooking for their own community.
Yeah.
And then branching out. and then you get to taste some of the most delicious,
And it's really nice because we interviewed with Giovanna in Glasgow and they're still, they've been here for over 100 years, but they still have this sort of sense of being Italian.
Yeah.
It's so great for everybody.
But that's what you said, Matt. You've hit it on that sort of head about how you've been so brilliant, Rick, all these years, is that it's not just a cookery show about talking, here's a dish, well done. There's a history, it's waxing lyrically about something else, or you're knowing about the community. It's not just about food. It feels like much more a travel monologue in a way, which makes you so engaged, and you can watch it over and again.
It's just like going to see Gaz, you see. It's the same thing. It's sort of like... He's doing something really interesting. And what I really liked about Gaz was his garden, right? It was like me when I started my vegetable garden in Cornwall. It's this sort of great joy of stuff growing and seeing like rainbow chard and sort of enthusing about it. So
Happy Dad Day.
Look at that.
So knowing your love of Australia...
Yeah, I mean, Riesling and Chinese food like...
Loyal, how was your morning?
It does go really well.
Go really well.
And we were saying the chops.
Happy? Happy?
That's lovely.
Great.
Really, really lovely.
Jack, thanks for doing all the work. And for everyone else, making up the numbers, really brilliant. That's all from us today. Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to Jack, Angela, Gaz, Loyal, Helen, and of course our guest of honour, Rick. All the recipes from the studio on the website, BBC. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and...
Happy Rick Stein Day.
Happy Rick Stein Day.